Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for coming. We're holding this press conference in anticipation of the major events that we're having this week. As many of you know, all of the eyes of the nation are on the city of New Orleans. We have become, for good reason, an international competitor in sports entertainment. It is something that we have been doing for a very, very long time. It's something that we're very proud of. We are in the middle of an unprecedented lineup of high-profile events. Since late December, we have hosted the New Orleans Bowl. We have hosted New Year's Eve. We are going to have 2 Saints games with the Detroit game this weekend. We have hosted the Sugar Bowl, and we've hosted the Hornets season opener. And the ladies and gentlemen that are surrounding me represent all of the stakeholders, federal, state, and local, government, not-for-profit, entities that have been working around the clock as part of the hospitality zone to make sure that these events are clean, they're safe, and that we have a welcome environment and produce the huge economic impact that these events can produce when they're done well. So I want to thank Deputy Mayor Jerry Sneed, Chief Surpass, Chief Parent, Dr. Elder from EMS, Sheriff Guzman. The state police are here. Brian Wynn and Carl Saison are representing them, and Colonel Edmondson is on his way. We have with us Sheriff Newell Norman. He has been a great partner for a very long time, especially with these particular events. We have our federal partners with us, the FBI, ATF, and DEA. Doug Thornton is with us from the Superdome. Kurt Weigel from the Downtown Development District. Paul Houlihan, who is the CEO of the Sugar Bowl, is with us. Many other department heads are with us, and deputy mayors. We have the Aviation Board with us, representatives of the Convention Center, representatives of the French Market Corporation. Any and all entities that have any responsibility whatsoever are here today. We have had just a little while ago another tabletop exercise to make sure that we could learn from whatever occurred in the last 2 weeks, put back in play all of the strategies that had been designed, and to make sure that we're prepared for this weekend. Again, it's really important that this event be successful, that it be safe, and that it work very, very well. We expect almost 250,000 visitors to be with us between now and Monday. All of these events in total are going to approximate a $500 million economic impact, which, as many of you know who count, is in excess of what the economic impact is from a Super Bowl. Many of the people are already aware of the fact that in 2013 we will, in fact, host a Super Bowl, and shortly after this event we have the Final Four coming and then need to get ramped up for Mardi Gras. And so as we wait in great anticipation for this weekend, as the Saints win their first playoff game against Detroit on Saturday night, and then we prepare to welcome both LSU and Alabama. And I want to take a moment here to ask the people of New Orleans to show the tremendous hospitality that they know they can show not only to the Tiger fans, which are in our backyard, but also to our friends from Alabama. New Orleans is a hospitable place for everybody. There's going to be high passion. This is a very competitive game, but we want to reflect the best sportsmanship to the nation that we possibly can and make sure that Coach Saban, the Alabama football team, the Alabama alumni, all of their students, their family, and their friends feel very welcome in the city of New Orleans. So on behalf of the people of the city, I look forward to having all of our friends from Alabama with us. This is a historic matchup. We expect that the Dome is going to be packed. There's going to be a sellout crowd. There will be lots of people in and around the Dome. In the French Quarter, there will be people moving in by plane, by car, by train. It's important that everybody's working together, which is why we are going to have a cohesive operation between our federal, state, and our local partners, NOPD, the Orleans Sheriff, JPSO, State Police. There will be 740 police officers around the Superdome and the French Quarter. Neighborhood districts will be fully staffed. And, again, this is going to be an event that we want to show the best of New Orleans. So, again, it's our time to shine in the city of New Orleans. We have done this very, very well in the past. We are well prepared. We're well organized. We're ready to go. And, again, I just wanted to thank all the ladies and gentlemen that have come to be with us today and thank them for the work that they have done and the work that they are about to do. And so with that, let me please call up Chief Surpass, who will be followed by Sheriff Guzman, Sheriff Norman, Mark Romig, Doug Thornton, and then Paul Houlihan. And then we will have Colonel Edmondson, I think, will be with us by that time. And, again, I want to thank the council members who have joined us at the press conference for the work that they have done as well. Chief Surpass. And State Representative Jared Brissett, who is on the Committee for Homeland Security. State Representative Brissett, it's great to see you.
Mr. Mayor, as you know, the police department has completely retooled its deployment plan, and we are actually in day 6 of our 10-day plan to provide our best foot forward for the many events that began on this year at New Year's Eve. We are incredibly grateful to the continuing work of the men and women of the police department who have changed their lives and schedules to make this happen, and I want to congratulate them. And so far, the plan has been going incredibly well. Things look good. We have over 700 NOPD officers who will be in the downtown area this weekend. We're assisted by our dear friends with the Louisiana State Police, Sheriff Newell Norman and his staff, and of course our daily partner, Sheriff Guzman and the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. We work closely with all of our federal partners during these major events because we all have a role to play in being coordinated and safe. I feel very good about the plan. The plan is working, and we continue to tweak it every day. And we want to thank those friends of ours who are with us here today and look forward to the beginning of the next 14 months where the City of New Orleans and its police department can demonstrate on the world stage that we are the best police department in the history of Earth at handling crowd control. Thank you.
I'll just echo what the mayor and Chief Surpass said. There are a number of events around the city involving Alabama and LSU. We're going to be in support of those, providing security at those events, as well as mounted in the French Quarter and other security areas. Very important for all of us to remember and to impress upon all of the visitors that are here that we certainly want them to have a good time, to enjoy themselves, and not make it down my way.
Not much to add, just a pleasure and an honor for my organization to work with the Incident Action Plan here in the city. Congratulations to the city on the first 6 days. It's been phenomenal. I mean, great work has been accomplished thus far. We just got to bring it home for the home stretch, and I'll say go Saints, go Tigers, and go Greater New Orleans region.
Thank you. Mark, tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Obviously, the city is going to fill up beginning tomorrow and really through Monday night, so we expect a full house here, but also east and west of us, which means a lot of car traffic coming into the city. We want to ask our visitors and friends to be mindful of that. Carpool when you can. Bring one car into the city. Parking is going to be at a premium. And I'd like to remind everyone that our hospitality industry is the best in the nation. We know how to do this well, working together to keep our streets clean, the traffic flowing smoothly in front of the hotels so that the congestion doesn't occur. And we know we can make this the best weekend ever and move on to bigger and better things in the future. So thank you for letting us speak.
That'd be great. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to say what a pleasure it is to work with such great professionals. We're lucky to be surrounded by the best special event team in the business, all of our law enforcement partners, the City of New Orleans, and certainly working with the Sugar Bowl Committee. We've got a very active complex, 9 events in 14 days across the street. Just want to take you through a couple of things here that are important to us. Superdome is in its security lockdown mode right now, which means all of our employees and the network officials are moving through the magnetometers as they transition in and out of the building. As far as the Saints game is concerned on Saturday, normal traffic flow and parking will be in place. We will be implementing the wanding procedures, the security measures that we've been doing throughout the year at all gates. We're asking all the Saints fans to get there early so that they can be in their seat before the game starts. In terms of the BCS, security measures will be in place. We'll have full pat-down procedures in place. The prohibited items will not be allowed into the building. We have a press release for that, so those of you in the media, you'll be able to put that out to the public. It's important to note that no bags larger than 12 by 12 will be allowed and no backpacks. All bags will be checked. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. at the Superdome on Monday night. Champion Square will open at 2 p.m. We will not be showing the game on the big screen at Champion Square throughout the night. That will apply both for the Saints game on Saturday as well as the BCS Championship on Monday night. Obviously, Champion Square is open to the public, but we're encouraging only people with tickets to come down because it will be a very crowded area in and around the Dome. All of our garages will be open on Monday night. Normal traffic patterns will be in place. Girard Street is closed from this point forward all the way through Tuesday morning. We'll be monitoring the bus traffic on game day and RV traffic as we go. We're looking forward to a great weekend. It's exciting to be a part of it, and thank you very much.
Brian, would you speak on behalf of the state police, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a privilege and pleasure for me to be here to represent the state police. And on behalf of Colonel Edmondson, we'll talk about the partnerships. It's an opportunity for us to work with partners that we worked with in the past. We're looking for a successful event. We have some additional troopers that'll be in the French Quarter, have some additional troopers that'll be at the Superdome, and we have some additional troopers that we're going to put on the highways leading to the city to allow a good flow of traffic in and out of the city before and after the game to make it a successful event. And we look forward to working with the city, our local partners, and our federal partners in the future as well. Thank you.
A couple more. Jackie Clarkson on behalf of the City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and we apologize for getting here late. We just ended a City Council meeting and ended as early as we could so we could be a part of this. And I'm obviously dressed for my prejudice of the game. But, and this morning we were privileged to have in our chambers at the council the Edna Carr High School, which are purple and gold. They're the Cougars, and they were runner-up state champions this year. And we purposely planned to have them here today on the Purple and Gold Day for the city. So thank you, Mr. Mayor and Chief, and thank you especially to all of the law enforcement that work collaboratively, like our sheriff, and thank you to Jefferson Parish and Newell Norman and the state police. It's wonderful that everyone comes together for the same cause. It does make a difference. To the Superdome, it's been magnificent. To Sugar Bowl, I've been a part of Sugar Bowl since I'm born, and it's better than ever. I don't know how you all surpass yourself every year, but you do. And to the Saints, I mean, it's just been remarkable. There's no other city in the world that could have held everything we've had here, from Sugar Bowl to Hornets to the Saints playoff to BCS National Championship, and do it as well as we do it. Not only well in the fact that it's economically well-driven, it's enjoyable, it's entertaining, but it's also very safe and a wonderful place to be, and it's making memories. Thank you very much on behalf of the council.
Thank you, Jackie. And I'd like to ask Paul Houlihan, who has done an extraordinary job planning the two major events, to speak to us for a moment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that there are no tickets available. But I do want to tell you personally how thankful I am to you and your outstanding team for the performance in the first week. It's really a pleasure for me to be able to come here and observe the workings of this coordinated effort. I believe that as we go forward, as the Mayor has indicated, in this momentous occasion that we're about to undertake here with the playing of the National Championship, we are obviously all in a state of readiness and prepared to execute a plan that has been well prepared, thought out, and I think we're in a position now to go forward and do something in a way that I think will serve us all well in the future, allowing the rest of the country to see what we do and what we do best, which is put on great events, not only Mardi Gras and the like, but sporting events seems to be the deal of the day, and I believe we're right up to task on all of this, and I'm very happy and pleased that things are going as well as they are, and I want to encourage the people that as you welcome these two teams to town, don't forget, now I know everybody has a strong feeling and affiliation with our great LSU Tigers, but understand now that the Southeastern Conference is the host conference for the Sugar Bowl and has been for many years. And so we want to certainly welcome our friends from Alabama and make them feel welcome throughout their stay here. So I encourage everybody to make it a warm and friendly atmosphere for all. We're going to have a wonderful game, and we know it's going to be a great success. And thank you and your team, Mayor, for all their great effort.
Thank you, Paul. Just a couple of other brief comments, and then we'll open it up to questions that you might have for any of the agencies. First of all, this city, this state, has had to work its way through a number of major events. Some we invited to come, like these. Some we didn't, like Katrina and Rita. And if you ask emergency operation professionals how well it's going to go, the first thing they'll tell you, it depends on how people react. And personal responsibility is the order of the day. If everybody does what they're supposed to do, if everybody takes care, for example, to leave early, then the traffic is likely to be lighter than it's going to be. If people have a tendency to carpool rather than bring their own car, then the onus on these folks is going to be better. If people handle their personal behavior the way they're supposed to, then it'll be enjoyable, or they'll see Sheriff Guzman. And what happens is that's really important that as we get into crowd control, a number of people, that I just send a word out for people to be civil. And, of course, Paul alluded to this issue. Let's show people in America that we are the sportsmanship capital of the world and be an inviting place for folks to come. On top of that, I also want you to know that most of what the public sees is the front of the house side. They see the game on the field. They see the basketball game on the court. They see the food that's on the table. But if they took a minute to think about the back of the house side of the employees that actually do this work, I can tell you, just to give you an anecdote, after New Year's Eve, as soon as everybody cleared Decatur Street, the public employees for the city of New Orleans stayed up all night cleaning the city so that the next morning when people came to the Saints game, the city was clean again. All of these emergency personnel work when everybody else is sleeping, and all of the folks that are working behind the scenes in the Superdome and in all of these organizations have been up for the last week and a half, and they expect to stay up and to get the job done. And I want to just give a special thank you to the working men and women of Louisiana and of all of the agencies and the city of New Orleans for the work that they do. And finally, I want to give a real shout out to the council. The council, at the request of Councilmember Palmer today, introduced and passed a new curfew ordinance that I intend to sign either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. It will go in effect on Monday. And we have some of the council members here. It is now 8 p.m. For anyone 16 or under in the French Quarter and in Marigny. And so I want to, again, reach out to the parents and to the families. Everybody needs to take care of their business to make sure that we have safe and secure streets, and that our children are safe, and that our visitors are safe, and that every neighborhood in the community remains safe. So with that, again, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for what you have done and what you're about to do. And then we'll get a quick rest and get back up on the horse and get ready for all the other events that are coming our way. And, yeah, Mardi Gras, which is right around the clock. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, or if you wish to direct them to somebody else, you may do that.
You talked about the curfew. Some people suggested a citywide curfew. Is that something you would support? And
Yes.
could that be enforced?
The answer to both of those questions is yes.
Michelle?
Yeah, Doug, you talked about the security for the various events. Are there any key differences in security that are going to be in place for the Saints game versus the BCS, or are we basically looking at the same kind of security that Saints fans are accustomed to for the BCS game?
Good question.
Pretty much the same security procedures. The prohibited items that we normally don't allow into the Superdome will not be allowed in for BCS. The only significant difference is for the NFL games, we use the hand wands. For the BCS, we will be doing pat-downs.
Why is it different?
Because it's an NFL best practice to employ the hand wands. It was something that we went to this year about mid-season, and we phased it in. We've been doing the hand wands at various gates. We will implement it at all gates for this weekend. It's an NFL-suggested best practice, and we're complying with that.
Will children be subject to pat-downs?
It's a good question. I think everyone that comes in the dome is subject to a pat-down. And it's a light pat-down. It's a full-body pat-down, but the answer to that would be yes. Anyone who comes into the building, I think, is going to be subject to a pat-down, and all bags will be checked.
Again, so on that note, Michelle, when you write about that, please, again, put the request out there that because we have those security procedures, it's going to take longer, and so people should leave early and make sure that they leave a lot of time so that they're not rushed. Okay?
Okay, you mentioned that you would support a citywide curfew ordinance. At what point do you think that we could get the ball rolling on that? Because there are some groups who are claiming right now that...
I think the council introduced the ordinance today. So whatever the normal time delays are, I'll leave that to 2 weeks.
Mr. Mayor, what are your predictions on the LCD?
Didn't I just tell you we have to be hospitable and we have to be good sportsmen? I think the Tigers are going to win. But I'm glad Nick Saban in Alabama and their entire crew are coming here. But I'm a Tiger fan.
Are you going to both games, and what's your prediction for the Saints game?
Oh, the Saints are absolutely going to win. And yes, I will be going to both games.
Mayor, you had mentioned that ordinance could be policed. Do you know in what way? I don't know if Chief Surpass can talk about that.
He's welcome to do that. Obviously, before we would take a policy position, we always would ask the generals on the field whether or not this is a good policing practice and whether it makes sense. I want to go back again to the issue of personal responsibility is really important. Families should know where their children are. I think that it's important to protect our children, and so they're not in places where they're not supposed to be anyway. But obviously, I wouldn't support an effort like this if I didn't think that the police department had the capacity to enforce it. Now, having said that, they don't have to enforce it as much if people take responsibility for making sure people are where they're supposed to be. So again, I'm calling on the people of New Orleans, if they want to help in the fight to make the city safe, to protect our children and crime, to start working really, really hard on what they personally can do, what their families can do, what their children can do, make sure that our kids are where they're supposed to be and not where they're supposed to be. But from an enforcement perspective, we'll have the tools in place to actually be able to enforce the law, and I'll let the chief address it in a little bit more detail.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In 2011, we made enforcing curfew and truancy a priority, and we had over a 20% increase in curfew enforcement for calendar year 2011. The reason police enjoy the process of having a curfew enforcement is because it makes kids safe. That's what this is really about, is the kids whose parents are letting them run on the street, at least we're there to try to make those kids safe or so that they don't hurt someone else. So we absolutely have the capacity to enforce curfew, and we'll do so and have already increased our curfew enforcement under the existing statutes.
We'll take two more. Michelle?
So one activity that frequently lands guests in Sheriff Bessett's hotel is relieving themselves on the street.
That's ill-advised.
What the rules are on that, and also as the administration, I know for Mardi Gras last year, right? It seemed like there were a lot more porta potties out on the street.
Yeah.
Have you guys taken steps to provide more opportunity for people to not break the law?
I've policed all over the nation now. And people generally do not relieve themselves on the streets anywhere in a civilized United States of America. So we would encourage people to not do so. They have access to bars. They have access to public restrooms at other parts of the French Quarter. It is an incredible incivility to those around you to do such. So we do take that quite seriously. We don't miss the idea of our summons procedure. If we have someone that we could issue a summons to and have reasonable confidence they'll turn themselves in, we would not physically arrest them. But generally what happens when people relieve themselves in the middle of the street, they're not of their right mind, and sometimes we do have to take them into custody, and we will do so.
Last
And
question.
how, have you put more facilities out on the streets for these
Well,
events so that
I don't,
on the neutral grounds? You don't like that?
no, I don't think that we anticipate that people will act in that way. They should not. There are plenty enough restrooms in the bars and the restaurants and the public environs that people are in, and people need to engage in good personal behavior. But if in fact people decide to do that, they will be detained because, as the chief said, it's not civil and it's not something that we want in the city. And in fact, stronger enforcement can correct that behavior. So we're kind of putting a warning out there, because I know somebody on the radio is going to say, I didn't say this clearly because people really didn't know it was the law, or we didn't tell people early enough. So if they really need an elementary study on how to handle themselves, we should say that if you do that, you're going to get arrested.
Last question, Eileen.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, at the council meeting earlier, the Louisiana Justice Institute threatened a boycott of the French Quarter if that passed.
Really?
Are you going to get involved in this, or do you have any?
I don't think I'm gonna miss them.
I mean, a boycott of the French Quarter.
If what?
If the curfew passed, Tracy Washington said.
I'm sorry that she feels that way, but
Ms. Clarkson,
I guess
would you like
I don't know that warrants a response.
And we'll stay in support of that ordinance.
Yeah.
And as we expand it, I'll support it even more.
Yeah. No, we're
And
good.
I did agree with starting in one spot till we refined it, because we've done it wrong before, and I've been a part of it.
Yeah.
So it's trying to help
Yeah.
make it right,
Well,
and I support it this fall.
We're good to go.
Go Saints, go Tigers.
Thank you. See you.
Anyway,